Welcome back. In an attempt to help you to achieve greatness today, we are going to talk about how kindness heals quietly, which is one of the most important teachings offered to humanity by Aesop, Jesus, the Dalai Lama, Princess Diana, and Fred Rogers. Kindness and love are the medicines that do not cost, and their effect is priceless. We are unity of consciousness, where we help you to achieve personal and spiritual growth. Throughout history, humanity has searched for the secret to a meaningful life. Civilizations have risen and fallen. Technologies have transformed our world, and societies have continuously evolved. Yet despite these changes, one timeless truth has remained remarkably constant. Kindness possesses the extraordinary power to heal both individuals and communities. Kindness rarely dominates the headlines. It is often quiet, unnoticed, and impossible to measure. Yet every compassionate word, every forgiving heart, every helping hand creates ripples that extend far beyond what we can see. Today's world, filled with rapid communication, constant distractions, and increasing division, may need kindness more than ever before. In this video, we explore 5 remarkable voices from different eras and walks of life. The ancient storyteller Aesop, Jesus Christ, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, Princess Diana, and Fred Rogers. Although separated by centuries, cultures, and beliefs, they all point toward the same profound truth, that genuine kindness transforms lives. Their teachings are not simply beautiful words to admire. They are practical principles that can guide how we live, speak, forgive, and care for one another today. Let us discover the timeless wisdom that reminds us that kindness truly heals, quietly, patiently, and powerfully.
One of the teachers that admired and taught kindness long time ago was Aesop. Aesop was an ancient Greek storyteller believed to have lived around the 6th century BCE. Though little is known about his life, his fables have survived for over 2,000 years because they reveal enduring truths about human nature. Through simple stories featuring animals, Aesop taught wisdom, humility, compassion, honesty, and the consequences of our choices in ways that continue to inspire readers of every generation. The first teaching of Aesop was, no act of kindness, no matter how small, is ever wasted. This may be one of the most famous lessons attributed to Aesop because it captures something that modern society often forgets. We naturally measure success by visible results. We ask ourselves whether our actions made enough difference. Was it important enough? Did anyone notice? Kindness does not work that way. Imagine planting a single seed in a forest. At first, it appears insignificant. Yet over decades, that one seed becomes a tree that offers shade, shelter, oxygen, and life to countless creatures. Kindness grows in exactly the same way. A smile offered to someone experiencing loneliness may restore hope. A few encouraging words may prevent someone from giving up. Listening without judgment may become the turning point in another person's life. Most of these moments will never be fully known by the one who offered them. Today's world encourages immediate rewards. Social media often teaches us to seek recognition for every good deed. But Aesop reminds us that the greatest acts of kindness are often invisible. True kindness does not ask, "Will anyone applaud me?" It asks, "Can I make someone's burden just a little lighter?" Humanity has always depended on these quiet acts. Families remain strong because someone chooses patience. Communities flourish because neighbors help one another. Friendships survive because forgiveness is offered instead of pride. Every civilization has been sustained not only by great leaders, but also by ordinary people performing extraordinary acts of compassion every single day. Perhaps kindness is never truly small. Perhaps every act simply begins small before its influence becomes impossible to measure. One of the most prominent figures to teach love and kindness was Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ is one of history's most influential spiritual teachers. His life and teachings have shaped billions of people across cultures and centuries. Central to his message were love, forgiveness, mercy, humility, compassion, and caring for others without expecting anything in return. His teachings continue to inspire believers and non-believers alike to pursue lives marked by grace, peace, and selfless service. Jesus taught to love your neighbor as yourself. These simple words may represent one of humanity's greatest moral challenges. Loving those who already love us is natural. Loving strangers requires intention. Loving difficult people requires wisdom. Yet Jesus expanded the meaning of love beyond emotion. Love became action. Helping, forgiving, serving, showing mercy, speaking truth with compassion. Today, society often divides people into groups based on opinions, politics, religion, nationality, or personal beliefs. Jesus challenges these divisions. He reminds us that every person possesses inherent dignity. Every person carries invisible struggles. Every person hopes to be understood. When we truly see another person's humanity, kindness becomes much easier. Imagine how workplaces would change if people practiced genuine respect instead of competition. Imagine schools where empathy replaced bullying. Imagine families where forgiveness replaced keeping score. These changes begin not through government policies or technological innovation, but through individual hearts choosing compassion. Love does not mean agreeing with everyone. It means recognizing that another person's value does not disappear simply because they differ from us. This teaching remains profoundly relevant today. Kindness becomes strongest when offered across differences rather than only within comfort. One more teaching about kindness from Jesus is, "Blessed are the merciful." Mercy is one of kindness's highest expressions. Justice gives people what they deserve. Mercy offers something better. Every person eventually makes mistakes. Every family experiences misunderstanding. Every friendship encounters disappointment. Mercy creates room for growth. It allows people to become more than their worst moment. Today's culture sometimes encourages permanent judgment. One mistake can define an entire life. One failure can overshadow years of goodness. Jesus offered another way. He repeatedly demonstrated that people can change. Compassion does not ignore accountability. Rather, it believes transformation remains possible. Mercy heals because it restores hope. Hope motivates change. Without hope, people remain trapped by shame. Kindness often begins by believing that someone is capable of becoming better. Perhaps that belief becomes the very reason they eventually do. The Dalai Lama is also one teacher who truly is fond of love and kindness. His Holiness, the Dalai Lama, is the spiritual leader of Tibetan Buddhism and an internationally respected advocate for compassion, peace, dialogue, and non-violence. Despite enduring exile from his homeland, he has consistently encouraged humanity to cultivate inner peace as the foundation for creating a more peaceful world. His teachings emphasize compassion as both practical wisdom and a path toward genuine happiness. The Dalai Lama taught to the world to be kind whenever possible. Also, he further states that it is always possible. These words appear beautifully simple, yet they contain remarkable depth. Many people believe kindness depends upon perfect circumstances. I'll be kind when I'm less stressed, when life becomes easier, when people deserve it. The Dalai Lama gently removes every excuse. Kindness is always available because it begins with choice rather than circumstance. Even during difficult seasons, we can remain respectful. We can speak gently. We can listen carefully. We can avoid unnecessary cruelty. Kindness does not require wealth. It requires awareness. Modern neuroscience increasingly supports what ancient wisdom has long taught. Compassion benefits not only those who receive it, but also those who practice it. Acts of kindness reduce stress, strengthen relationships, encourage cooperation, and improve emotional well-being. Human beings are biologically designed for connection. The Dalai Lama reminds us that kindness is not weakness. It is emotional strength. It requires patience instead of impulsiveness, understanding instead of judgment, wisdom instead of anger. These qualities create healthier communities because peaceful individuals naturally build peaceful relationships. Inner peace and outer peace are deeply connected. The Dalai Lama extends the kindness to ourselves by teaching. Compassion begins with ourselves. Many people misunderstand kindness by believing it requires endless self-sacrifice. Eventually, they become emotionally exhausted. The Dalai Lama teaches something equally important. We cannot continually pour from an empty cup. Self-compassion is not selfishness. It means speaking kindly to ourselves, learning from mistakes instead of living in shame, resting when necessary, healing emotional wounds, growing patiently. People who constantly criticize themselves often struggle to extend compassion toward others. Conversely, those who understand forgiveness personally become better at offering forgiveness outwardly. Humanity needs people whose kindness flows from genuine inner peace rather than obligation. When we care for our own emotional well-being, we become more patient parents, wiser friends, stronger leaders, and more compassionate neighbors. Healing begins within before it naturally flows outward. A modern prominent figure to value kindness is Princess Diana. Princess Diana became known around the world not only as a member of the British royal family, but also as one of the 20th century's most compassionate humanitarian figures. Her willingness to embrace marginalized communities, comfort hospital patients, an advocate for people affected by illness, homelessness, and landmines transformed public attitudes toward compassion and demonstrated the profound influence of empathy in action. Diana famously has championed to carry out a random act of kindness with no expectation of reward. Princess Diana showed that compassion becomes most authentic when it expects nothing in return. Some of her most memorable moments involved quietly sitting beside hospital patients who many people feared to touch. She demonstrated that dignity can be restored through simple human presence. Today, many people experience loneliness despite living in an age of constant digital connection. Technology allows communication. Kindness creates connection. There is an important difference. People long to be seen, to be heard, to be valued. A random act of kindness interrupts isolation. It reminds someone they matter. The beauty of kindness without expectation is that it frees both the giver and the receiver. No debt exists. No obligation remains. Only gratitude. Human history repeatedly shows that societies become stronger when compassion reaches those who have been forgotten. Whether helping the elderly, supporting people experiencing homelessness, comforting those grieving, or encouraging someone struggling with mental burdens, kindness restores hope where hope has faded. Sometimes the greatest gift we offer another person is simply our presence. Fred Rogers is our last teacher that has lived by nurturing kindness. Fred Rogers, beloved creator and host of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, devoted his life to nurturing children's emotional well-being through kindness, empathy, honesty, and unconditional acceptance. His calm wisdom demonstrated that gentleness possesses remarkable strength. Generations continue to learn from his example that every person deserves respect, understanding, and reassurance that they are loved exactly as they are. His famous teaching about kindness was, "There are 3 ways to ultimate success. The first way is to be kind. The second way is to be kind. The third way is to be kind." Fred Rogers understood something many adults forget. Achievement without kindness rarely brings lasting fulfillment. Success measured only by wealth, influence, or recognition often leaves people emotionally empty. Real success includes character. How did we treat people? Did others feel safer because of us? Did we leave our communities more compassionate than we found them? Children naturally understand kindness. They comfort crying friends. They share. They forgive quickly. Somewhere along adulthood, many people replaced gentleness with competition. Fred Rogers spent decades reminding millions that kindness never loses its value. In today's increasingly anxious world, emotional safety has become one of kindness's greatest gifts. Listening without interruption. Encouraging instead of criticizing. Choosing patience instead of anger. These daily decisions create environments where people flourish. Whether raising children, leading organizations, teaching students, or caring for loved ones, kindness builds trust. Trust strengthens relationships. Relationships strengthen communities. Communities shape civilizations. Kindness truly becomes a foundation for lasting success. Although these 5 remarkable teachers lived in different centuries and represented different traditions, they all reveal the same beautiful pattern. Aesop teaches that no kindness is ever wasted. Jesus teaches us to love beyond ourselves and extend mercy. The Dalai Lama teaches that compassion is always possible. Princess Diana demonstrates kindness through humble service. Fred Rogers reminds us that kindness defines genuine success. Together, they paint an extraordinary picture. Kindness is not passive. It is courageous. It is practical. It heals wounds we cannot always see. It restores dignity. It strengthens families. It bridges differences. It creates hope. Most importantly, kindness spreads. Every compassionate action quietly encourages another. One generous heart inspires another generous heart. This is how humanity slowly changes. Not always through dramatic revolutions, but through millions of ordinary people making extraordinary choices every day. As we conclude this journey through these timeless teachings, one message rises above them all. Kindness is never insignificant. It may not always receive recognition. It may never appear on the evening news. Few people celebrate the stranger who offers encouragement, the parent who patiently listens, the teacher who believes in a struggling student, or the neighbor who quietly helps without asking for anything in return. Yet these are the very acts that hold humanity together. History often is written to remember kings, presidents, inventors, and warriors where background noise is loud. But countless lives have also been transformed by ordinary people who simply quietly chose compassion over indifference. A gentle word has prevented despair. A forgiving heart has restored broken families. A helping hand has changed the direction of someone's entire life. In today's fast-moving world, kindness can sometimes seem too simple to matter. We are encouraged to chase achievement, recognition, and success. Yet the voices of Aesop, Jesus Christ, the Dalai Lama, Princess Diana, and Fred Rogers remind us that greatness is not measured only by what we accomplish, but by the goodness we leave behind. Each day presents countless opportunities to practice this wisdom. We can choose patience instead of anger, understanding instead of judgment, encouragement instead of criticism, forgiveness instead of resentment, compassion instead of indifference. The remarkable truth is that we rarely know how far one act of kindness will travel. A single encouraging conversation may inspire confidence for years to come. One generous action may encourage another person to help someone else. Like ripples spreading across a calm lake, kindness continues moving long after the original moment has passed. If every person watching this video committed to performing just one intentional act of kindness each day, imagine the quiet transformation that would begin, not only in our own homes and communities, but throughout the world. Kindness does not require perfection. It only requires willingness. May these timeless teachings become more than inspiring quotes. May they become daily habits. May they shape our character, strengthen our relationships, and remind us that every person we meet carries unseen burdens and deserves compassion. We are unity of consciousness, where we help you to achieve personal and spiritual growth. And may we always remember this enduring truth. Kindness heals quietly, but its impact can echo for many generations.